Welcome to another 12 Days of Bourbon Nights, a 5-night at Freddy's sequel.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be like that 12 Days of Christmas song, but like a Bourbon Night remix. Except for that if we actually did that with pours, we would end up really intoxicated.
On the floor, yeah.
Like on the floor, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna write that later.
Okay.
Yeah. We have here Pride of Anderson County. First and foremost, we have to thank the donor of this bottle. This
our
is
benefactor.
Not our bottle. Max from Proof EDC loaned us this, and he let us actually crack this open, the fresh crack. We did it on camera. The audio wasn't rolling, but you can see here, carefully cutting the
very
tax
gentle
strip and doing the cork pop.
Oh, okay.
I think we probably got it on the internal camera audio, which isn't the best, but
you still heard it.
But it was good because we're able to let this sit in the glass here for about 5-10 minutes and open up. Pride of Anderson County, there's a lot to talk about.
There is. I can't wait to learn.
There's also some controversy, I would almost say, around this. So we will review this as we do, and then the last part of the video, we will talk about all that and weigh in about it because I'm sure people are already thinking
I
that.
bet you're already weighing in on it in the comments, and I can't wait to read that later.
So this all started with Dave Jennings of Rare Bird 101. Back in 2017, he had his first taste of Wild Turkey Kentucky Legend, which was a late 1990s bottle of Wild Turkey single barrel at barrel strength.
That sounds great.
Also known as the donut bottle. We've seen the donut bottle, right?
Bottle.
Yeah, we've had a little taste of the donut bottle. It's great. And he was like, where's this been all my life? You know, this is incredible. And from then on, he was dreaming about being able to share cask strength, older Wild Turkey to more people because, you know, obviously Wild Turkey's his favorite distillery.
He wanted to spread the good word.
Rare Bird 101.
Yeah, that's kind of in the name.
In 2022, he had a chance encounter with Pablo Moix of Rare Character, and they started talking about it, and that's how Pride of Anderson County was born. There's 3 barrels total, 2 bourbons, and 1 rye. The rye, which is a 9.5 year, is actually the oldest and highest proof Wild Turkey rye that's ever been released.
Whoa.
MSRP on that rye is $400.
Oh.
The 2 bourbons, both are 13.5 year. Suggested retail price on that is $500.
Okay.
Hence the controversy and all that
we
stuff
mentioned.
that we will talk about later. But regardless, 13.5 year barrel proof, uncut, unfiltered Wild Turkey here in Pride of Anderson County. It is 60.3%.
So 120.6
Correct,
proof?
yes. It's bottle 89, barrel 2596. It's from Rickhouse CNE.
Camp Nelson.
Camp Nelson, yep. Floor 4.
That price point sets expectations
It does.
sky high.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That nose does not disappoint though.
We're off to a good start though. Now these were hand-selected barrels by Bruce Russell and Grant Wheeler, and then Pablo and David, gave them their stamp of approval.
I don't think I've ever said this before, but it's like an elegant balance of like some fruit notes and spice and oak.
Now you're talking like the back of a label. An elegant balance.
Should I write the backs of the labels?
Married together with exceptional
It's a nice nose.
dreams.
I often find myself in the camp though of like point of diminishing returns when it comes to whiskeys and their prices. Like at some point the price just exceeds anything that I personally could possibly
that you put your own personal number on as
and
far as
anything after
value.
that, it's like it just, even if it's the best thing I ever tasted, I can't. But everybody plays in a different price category.
They do.
And there's only 3 barrels of this out there, so
Man, I'm getting desserty feels with this.
Very desserty.
A little bit of cherry, molasses, a little bit of honey, some of the barrel in there, but not a whole lot of barrel.
yeah, I want to drink it.
It's a great nose. Okay, yes. Let us drink it to your health. Wow. That's hot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. That is definitely from the
Interesting.
barrel.
Yeah.
Uncut, unfiltered.
I, don't have a lot of experience with Wild Turkey at this proof at this age, and I am learning right now that I think my oak threshold for Wild Turkey products in terms of age is lower than other distilleries. So
Okay.
usually I find myself at like the 15, 16 year mark being like, this is getting a little oaky for me. Maybe it's too old. This one is pretty much, it's pretty much there.
I'm having a different experience, but we've established that I have a higher oak threshold and actually really like the oak. I wouldn't have said that this is particularly oaky, at least off the first sip. Now, you know, you don't want to hold judgment until the second sip, but let's talk about the positives first. Very long finish, instantly creeping into a very nice Anderson County hug, Kentucky hug. Very warm. I thought, you know, that initial sip, there was a lot of heat. I thought that was going to remain on the tongue, but it quickly kind of went into more of the hug, where we like it. 120 proof, though, I would have been like maybe guessing a little bit higher. It does have some heat to it.
It does. I mean, I would expect nothing less from, you know, the spice that I expect from Wild Turkey products based on their mash bill. The finish is long. It is nice. It is a nice little warm fire right here. Yeah, even on second sip, I do feel like...
Second sip.
Well, I did it while you were talking, just to save time. It's presenting oak in a way that some 15, 16, 17-year bottles I find present at 13. What was it, 13?
13 and a half.
Which, you know, for me, I'm just one person. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But I can totally see who this is for and why people would love it. And I get his vision. Like, if that's what you're into, then this, you know, that really drives it home.
Second sip, again with the heat, a little bit more acclimated to it, but still kind of a rush of heat there. And I am left wanting a little bit more in the mouthfeel department. I feel like it could be a little bit more coating and viscous. But again, I don't feel like it's a whole lot of oak, at least for me. As it settles in on the back end, there is some really dark cocoa type of oak feeling. Those two kind of combined on the back end, but on the palate, I'm good with it.
Okay.
I think it's good.
But that makes sense for you.
That makes sense for me,
It's
right.
pretty much ringing true to how we found ourselves in terms of oak threshold. That's a term coined on this show.
Oak threshold.
Oak threshold.
What's your oak threshold? That's a t-shirt coming, I guess. I don't know. Well, we don't have to finish it all right now.
No,
we
I'm gonna
can get
give it
into
some
the
time.
other conversation and drink on it throughout and see how it opens up even more in the glass, and then as it sort of evaporates on our palate. I don't know the best way to say that.
Sure.
Before we get into it,
term.
I want to tell you about our home on the internet. It's whiskyambitions.com. It's where you can get both the t-shirts, the t-shirt and the long sleeve that you're wearing, Sarah. Glencairns we're drinking from, our water glasses. Thank you, Vanna. Also, hoodies and sweatshirts, our collegiate line there, because it is getting cold out.
They're so cozy.
Hats and candles and more always coming soon at whiskyambitions.com.
And you can become a patron at patreon.com/itsbourbonnight and join our community for how much, Chad? Oh, that's as little as $1 a month. And that is where we release our exclusive barrel picks, the opportunities to participate in barrel picks, after the episode exclusives, and discounts on that merch depending on your tier.
And we'll be right back. Okay, Sarah, here's the sticky point.
Let's dig in.
The price. A lot of people said that they were shocked, even disappointed when they heard the price. They were expecting more around $200, $250, $300, and it came out to be $400 and $500. This being $500. Yes, it's high. No, it's not unprecedented, especially with the Wild Turkey Generations being released recently that was MSRP $450, and that's from the actual distillery. This is sourced. You know, when we talk about sourced things, we call it the sourced tax, right?
We got a middleman, right?
That distillery has to make money. The sorcerer then has to, sorcerer has to make money. So there's a source tax on that as well. So for it to be only $50 more than what the actual distillery is charging for one of their, best of the best, I think it's in line. Now, does that mean that we should be at that point as a whiskey community? No.
I'm personally not in that range.
But I think the main issue with this, for a lot of people's arguments that I've heard, is that it just hurts more because it's Wild Turkey.
And which I'm like confused.
I would expect this with Sazerac, with Buffalo Trace, or with their $1,000 box set, or Woodford Reserve with their Baccarat, or Old Forester with whatever that crazy $2,500 thing is called. But Wild Turkey is the drinking man's bourbon. I get it, but they're not taking away Wild Turkey 101. They're not taking away Rare Breed. Well, that still exists for $50.
I guess when we look at other brands, like the ones you just named, we have products at all price points. At Woodford, you have regular Woodford Reserve, and then you have Baccarat. Like at Buffalo Trace, you can get Ancient Age and Benchmark. Jim Beam, you can get Jim Beam White Label, and then you can get Lineage, right? Like this is a little more expensive, but we have it runs the gambit, right? Of products, different price points, but also not to mention it's not a Wild Turkey product.
Correct. The way I look at it is, people say they're mad about it because, well, you can almost get this in a good Russell's Reserve pick, 10, 11 year, around that range for, $90, $100 maybe at the top end. But this isn't that, and it's not that age, and it's not 110 proof. So the way I look at it, David Jennings said this product can either exist.
Right, I can execute my vision.
And it'll be this much, or it cannot exist. So the people who say they're so upset about this, I want to ask them, would they rather this not exist and not be an option for anyone to buy? And some people might say yes because they feel like this is hurting the industry.
But I feel like we're past that point.
Yeah,
it's not
I feel like that
this
ship has sailed.
Right.
You can't blame it all on this bottle.
This bottle didn't start it. It won't be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we've gotten to a point as a community where it is frustrating to be an average shopper and not be able to find what you're looking for or find something that you really want, but it's out of your price range or it's just unattainable. But that's just the world we live in now. It's uncomfortable and it's unpleasant. I think we're all just adapting to learning the range in which we play in. And I will admit, on a personal level, this is outside of the range that I play in. I accept that. I can let my FOMO go, one, because I've tried it, but also on some things I can just let it go and understand, this probably isn't for me, and that's okay. There's plenty of other great stuff to drink.
This shouldn't make you stop loving Wild Turkey, because again, as we said, all those expressions are still gonna be there. I don't feel like Campari, seeing that people bought this for $500, are gonna go, okay, let's up everything by $75 because they'll pay for it.
But even how many people bought this for $500?
It was
out of 3 barrels.
3 barrels, and they were all low barrels.
So I think that those
this is a lottery
very
item.
limited bottles went to the people who this is their budget, and they're super Wild Turkey fans, just like I think the audience that Dave was probably catering to. People who really appreciate it.
Put it on
this
a
is what they're
Cold
looking
Stone
for.
scale for me, Sarah.
People who are looking for this bottle are the gotta have it.
Gotta
people.
have it. Like it, love it, gotta have it.
I'm a like it. I mean,
You're a like it on this?
I'm a like it.
I'm a love it.
Okay, but that makes sense because oak threshold. That doesn't mean I think this is a bad bottle. It's just I'm honestly not sad because now I don't have to be sad that I can't get one.
You got that FOMO out.
Yeah.
Well, as I've sipped on it through our conversation here, it has opened up more, or my tongue has gotten more acclimated, or what. The mouthfeel has gotten better for me. It does feel oilier now. I feel like it's not as dry as when I had that first and second sip.
I have to say, the nose on this is incredible.
Nose might be...
The nose might be my favorite
part. The nose
part.
and the finish might be, the two best parts. Now, lastly, one thing I will say that could have made this bottle less expensive is if the rights weren't acquired to have Wild Turkey on this bottle.
Because that does not come for free.
You have to pay, tens of thousands of dollars to license where this came from. Now,
and some people might wonder, why is that?
That could have dropped the price a little bit, if not a lot of it. But I'm not going to blame David Jennings for it because I've tried to put myself in his shoes. And if I am a Wild Turkey fan, but if Wild Turkey was my de facto favorite distillery in the world, I'd been dreaming about this expression for years, and just it was sort of like a point of pride to have my favorite distillery's name next to where my name would be, Rarebird 101.
Yeah. That means a lot.
I would pay that money to have it on there. So I can't fault him for that. But I did want to bring it up as that could have been something that would have changed the price on this.
It's a choice he could have made. However, it's his vision. He's the one who came up with this whole concept. And if it's that meaningful to him, then that's his choice.
Then put it on there.
And again, if you don't like it, there's such a limited number of bottles that I don't think we have to worry about it. You just don't buy it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's interesting. I wonder if we'll see more projects like this.
Last sip.
In the future of people being super fans of distilleries and being able to source things. I'm very impressed to be able to source at this age, at this point in time, from such a big distillery. But hey, apparently it's possible. So I wonder if we'll see more projects like this.
Well, that was the other point that the only point that I don't think I didn't mention, because there's been a lot in this episode, right? Is if you're a distillery and you're letting go your oldest and highest proof of anything, you're gonna pay the premium for that. If it's older and higher proof than anything in their own catalog and it's going to someone else, then you're gonna pay for that barrel. So I don't know what he had to pay to get these barrels, but it was a lot. I'm sure.
I can guess that it was probably a whole lot.
So either it exists or it doesn't. At the end of the day, I would say, yeah, let's have it exist.
I'm not mad that it exists.
Yeah. But that's where we better leave it. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to us already, it's almost the end of 2023. It's time. You can do so by clicking right up here. Yeah, there's other suggestions of videos down here, and we hope to see you over there on one of those. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, Rarebird 101 and Max Barrel Proof EDC. Until next time tomorrow, drink more bourbon.